Erev Tov in Beersheba. Good morning in Minneapolis. Greetings. My name is Wayne Firestone on behalf of all my friends and colleagues here at the America-Israel Friendship League. Great to be with you again on a Sunday. We have our fireside chat series continuing now. Maybe we should just call it Yossi's Friends, because we are able to bring you people from Israeli society that are just doing some amazing things, and we love to let you hear about them, learn about it, and share it with your friends. And we maybe even have a suggestion or two of where you might want to visit on a future trip to Israel. But that's for you to determine at the end of the show. Right now, what I want to know is, what are your plans for summer? We love to begin our program. We have people calling in from Brooklyn, from San Diego, from Dallas today, people from around the world, Northern California. Thanks for being with us on a Sunday. Summer is sort of in the air. So we want to hear a little bit. Do you have plans? Are you maybe traveling? Are you traveling to Israel? If you're traveling to Israel, you get extra credit. There, I see my first traveler to Israel coming this summer. I think by the end of this episode, we may even have a few new suggestions of where you might want to visit. We're just happy to have everybody here together. Look, we've been doing this together now, many of us, for over 3 years. We've been together on these Zoom calls, making friends virtually, visiting places that we don't know as much about, getting to meet our Israeli cousins, we like to call them. And indeed, this is the opportunity to do so. So thanks everybody for being with us again. Today, I see somebody who's traveling to South Africa as well as to Israel. We have a shalom from Toronto. So it's very much a global audience. Gail's saying they're supporting their granddaughter's visit to Israel. So you get extra credit, extra credit if it's a grandchild that's traveling on behalf of representing your family. At any rate, we're happy to have everyone here today. Whatever you're planning on doing this summer, we're going to be around. We continue to have amazing people and places and stories to tell from Israel, even with the many challenges that we know Israel faces. It's the people of Israel that make us passionate about the place. Yes, there's great food. Yes, there's great inventors. There's great things to see, but ultimately it's about the people. And that's why we're so privileged today to be meeting with Mayor Dr. Aliza Bloch. She is a phenomenon in Israeli society in the sense that, you know, she started with a modest story as an educator, just wanting to have a great school in the community that she lives in. And now she went on to found a school in Beit Shemesh and then write a dissertation about development towns and how to do education best in Israel. So she's contributed a lot. And then at some point woke up, or somebody nudged her and said, you know, we need some leadership here in this city beyond just the high school. And lo and behold, we have a remarkable story of a leader who rose to the challenge, is rising to the challenge, wakes up every morning with a challenge, perhaps a new challenge. And that is Dr. Bloch. We're going to learn about her story from a friend and colleague, Dr. Yossi Vardi, who's done almost everything in Israeli society except be a mayor. Yossi, you're not planning on running for mayor anytime soon, I hope.
Too late.
Too late. Okay. So Yossi's resume is way too long to read, so we won't try to read it. What I would say, in addition to being part of our AIFL family as a member of the board of directors for AIFL for forever, Yossi is a part of a lot of boards in the private sector, in the nonprofit sector, in the education center, at the Weizmann Institute, at Technion, on and on and on. No, Yossi, I have to mention it because you are able to pick people, in a sense, in Israeli society who you take an interest in, not just to tell their stories, but to actually help ensure that their leadership is launched for generations and generations to come. And when you offered us to and told us a little about the story about Mayor Bloch, I was so delighted just to meet her. So I want to turn over to you. We'll have an opportunity for Q&A as always afterwards, but just looking forward to hearing your conversation and learning more about Dr. Bloch and the amazing things that are happening in Beit Shemesh.
Great, thank you for this promotion. I think, Wayne, you should move into selling insurance. The way you are performing, I think you will have a great future, but thank you for your generosity. I'm really pleased to introduce to you my good friend, Dr. Aliza Bloch. You may call her Mayor Bloch, but everybody in Israel call her Aliza. So Aliza, I hope it's okay that I will call you Aliza. And before I present to you Aliza, if there is still anything to present, how many of you ever heard about a town called Beit Shemesh? If you heard about Beit Shemesh, send the chat. I'm quite sure that not many of you heard about it, but Beit Shemesh is one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing cities in Israel. Beit Shemesh is located, one has friends living there, and one heard the name only, etc., etc. Nevertheless, Beit Shemesh, every kid heard not about Beit Shemesh, but about something which happened close to it. Beit Shemesh is at Emek Ha'ela, and if you remember Bible, there was a story about this little kid, red-haired kid by the name of David, and this giant by the name of Goliath. And this was exactly, I think, maybe 5 miles from where the famous fight between them happened. Also, not far from there, as you remember, the sun and the moon were stopped. It was in the Ayalon Valley, which is on another side of Beit Shemesh. Beit Shemesh is in the Judean hills, and a lot of things are happening there, and Aliza is driving it. Now about Aliza. Aliza is a very strange creature. She is religious, traditional religious. She's woman. She ran to the mayorship in the election as independent person without the backing of any party, which is quite amazing. There is, by the way, a generation of new young mayors in Israel which run on their own, which what they bring into the table is their capabilities, their commitment, their passion. They don't bring the political machine, which means that they have to fight harder. But the most interesting thing is the structure of the population. I think, and Aliza, please correct me, that 60% of the current population of Beit Shemesh are ultra-Orthodox. It's a city which is not ultra-Orthodox city, but it has ultra-Orthodox majority. But coexist with them are traditional religion people, secular people. There is a constituency of Americans who moved to Beit Shemesh, and somehow all of them agreed to elect Aliza to be the mayor. I think there are 2 reasons, and then Aliza, at last we will give you a chance to say something also. I think that this was achieved by 2 things. Number one, Aliza was the principal of the biggest secular school in Beit Shemesh, and she has done extremely well in the school. I remember the head of manpower for the army went especially to the school to check how 100% of the kids are going to the army when she was the principal in the school. She was religious, but she was the only religious in a secular school, which have done very well. And number 2, Aliza knew the people and and help the people and had the relationship with the grassroots of the city, and they simply trust her. It was a complicated city, and everybody, I think, was relieved to vote for her. But I spoke enough. Aliza, I would like to start by asking you to tell us a little bit about your background. What have you done before you became the mayor of the city? Don't smile, tell us.
It's interesting to hear you. What do you think about me? We need to talk about it. Okay.
How correct I was.
A few sentences. So my family came from Morocco in the beginning of our country, and my husband, his father came from Germany. His mother is 7th generation in Israel. So my children grow up in an heterogeneous family, and I think this is some of my big issue in my background. Most of my life, I was a teacher, a principal, I'm an educator, and I thought that I continue to work in the school for all my life. I like classes, I like to teach, I like children, and I like to work with teachers, and I thought that I make a good influence about my children. But when I saw that my city was a very poor city, and she was the model of the conflict between religious people and secular people, all the country saw that Beit Shemesh was a model of this conflict. I decided that to stay.
Excuse me for interrupting. There were even fist fights, I think, between ultra-Orthodox and secular people.
Yes. And then I decided that to stay at home and to say it's not my issue, it's not good. And I decided that if I want to see in my eyes of my children and to say we did everything to build for you a good society, I must go out. And at the beginning, when I thought to go to be the mayor and to enter to the politicization, most of my friends around me, Yossi was one of them, told me that it's a stupid idea. I can't win because I'm a woman, I have no money, I have no party. There is a very strong mayor in Beit Shemesh. Most of the rabbi will say that it's not good to vote for me. And sometimes some people told me it's like joke and told me you are a very serious person, so why to do it? And I thought about the politics like I think most of you think about it, but I decided in one night that we must make the change. And if I will don't try, I never succeed. And if I will not try, I can say something about our society, because everybody knows to say something and to say what they think, what will be happen here. But someone needs to take the responsibility and try to make the change. And then I decided when I open my campaign, I must to say that I have only 5 people that say that it's not. And then I begin to run. I don't understand nothing in politicization, and for me it's not my my good career, but I decided to do it because I thought that this is a way to make influence about our society, to work with the people, to do all the things, and to take our vision and to make it for our life. My city is very nice city, it's very complicated city. We are in the middle of the country. We have 160,000 people. It's a very big city. As
which means what size-wise, how it's ranked? Number 5, number 7?
We are number 8, but until 3 or 4 weeks, we will be at top 5.
Top 5, wow.
Yes, and we are as Yossi said, we are the fastest growth city in Israel. I have citizens from 50 countries. So if I need to say something for my citizen, I need to talk with them in English, in Hebrew, in Yiddish, in Germany, in Amharic, in French, in Spanish, and we have all of kinds of the group in Israel. We have here secular residents, we have ultra-Orthodox, Orthodox, we have people, Balei Tshuva, we have Hasidim, Lita'im, all the kinds are live here. And I try to teach everybody that we must learn to live together. Don't say that my way is a good way to live. I say that nobody will go from here and everybody must learn to live together here in Israel, here in Beit Shemesh. And I want to take my city from cities that was the model of the conflict between her groups to be the model of the cities that we learn to live together. It's very difficult, but I believe that we must do it.
But Aliza, let's be frank. You know, in Israel, either you have ultra-Orthodox cities like Bnei Brak or Elad or Modi'in Illit, or you have cities where the ultra-Orthodox are a small minority with not much influence. Now, the fact that you have a sizable ultra-Orthodox community, but secular people feel also comfortable, this is quite unique. I mean, I cannot think about any other city where you have such a situation. So what is the secret sauce? What is the formula? How you are able to keep this kind of very delicate equilibrium? And is it, and can you replicate it in other places?
So I have no formula, but I believe that there is more than one way to be a good person. And I don't judge everyone about his life. I believe that we must teach everybody to learn together and to respect everyone. And I believe that about 80% we have agreement. A lot of conflict began because the beginning of the life, beginning from the 20% that we are not agreement. So I decided to work about the things that everybody are need. I need to work to find the common good, about the clean roads, about the education, about the employment, about the buildings that we need to build, about the culture. And I think that if I put the conflict outside, I can help. And look about this picture now.
What is it?
Here you see the central culture of our city. This was the first buildings that I built in Beit Shemesh. And when I decided to begin to work about this building, all the people around me asked me one question. They asked me if this building will work at Saturday. Nobody asked me if I have enough budget for it. Nobody asked me if we build a good program for the young people and the old people. Nobody asked me if I help for the people that can go with the food and they need wheels to arrive to this place. All the question was about the conflict. It will be work at Saturday or no. And then I decided, don't have a question. This building will give service for all the kinds of our city, for people that want to talk in English. We have program in the central culture, in English, in French, in Arabic, for people that want to come with their family, for people that want to come separated between women and men, and I feel that I very strong to make a compromise. I don't feel that I need always to be right. I need to be smart, and don't always ask what's right to do, what smart to do. And I feel that this makes a change. To say for everyone, what's your need? What's your needs? What it can help you to make your life better? And I feel that children that grow up in Beit Shemesh will grow a better person because they learn to live with a lot of people. When my children go to the bus station in Beit Shemesh, they see all the kinds of groups. They see an old woman that from Ethiopia. They see students that go to learn in the university in Jerusalem. They see a Haredi mother with 5 children that they need to go to school. They learn to see everybody and to learn that we can live with them and it's okay.
Very nice. Aliza, you have a special approach how to empower.
About this picture. This picture is in the old center in Beit Shemesh. You can see people that came from Ethiopia that they are sitting there every day. When was Mivtza Moshe in 1984, they come to live in Beit Shemesh. And here in Beit Shemesh, I have people that come from Ethiopia in Mivtza Moshe, and people that come from Russia in 1990. And you see here's the piano. We put it 2 years ago in the center, and you can come in the normal afternoon and you see there are people that come from Ethiopia that are drinking together, talking together, and people that come from Russia that play the piano, and it's okay. Sometimes they don't know about the another people, that they learn to see another people.
So Aliza, you have now 160,000 people, right?
Yes.
Now, if 60% are ultra-Orthodox, you must have quite significant gaps in the social in the income of the people between the ultra-Orthodox and the secular. How you mitigate these differences? How you deal with them?
And I think that if you think about Beit Shemesh, when I say that we're in the middle of the country between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, I think that it's not only technical fact, because I think that we took from Jerusalem the tradition and from Tel Aviv the modern in the process, and in Beit Shemesh we try to work together about it. And I think, it's a very nice picture. Here you see the clean day. I want to educate my citizen to take responsibility about our city. It's not important if you are ultra-Orthodox or secular Orthodox. So 3 times in the year, I take all the children from the schools, all the workers in my municipality, and we're cleaning the road together. And you here see my workers that go out to clean our road and to say for everyone, our city is belong us. And if we win, if you want to live here, we must take responsibility about our road. It's not important if you have kippah or not have kippah on your hand, but you know that you must help for everyone to feel here at home. So you look the baggage with all the garbage and everybody collect it. It's very nice to see it. I think that it's one of my ways to make the change in my opinion of my citizen.
Okay, now I want to tell our audience a secret that one of the tools of Aliza, as you can already witness, she has endless charisma, and she knows how to use the charisma to mobilize people. Tell me, when you run this school in this forgettable city of Beit Shemesh that nobody really cared about, who are the people you were able to harness to help you in the school, from the civic society?
Wow. I think that to make change in the school, now in my society, in my city, I need to help another people to help me. I don't think that I can do something alone. I can't work, but I need to take a lot of people to help me. So Yossi helped me in past to take people from industry, from the army, from the academy, and he told them, come to help. Everyone can do something to help us to build our city and to build our school. And I think that it's help to the school, it's help to the city, but it's help for everyone that he feels that he can do something about our society. It's nice to stay at home and to stay.
Aliza was able to harness people like Dovik Lautman and Tzvi Tzameret.
Amnon Lipkin Shachak, Ranan Dinu, Ilan Cohen.
Ranan Dinu was the Director General of the Prime Minister. And one evening, I came to the school to a meeting and I saw Ranan Dinur sitting there helping Aliza. I asked him, what the hell you are doing here? You're supposed to run the country. He said, I live in Beit Shemesh, and a few times a month I sneak out from the office and I go to Beit Shemesh to help Aliza. And this was, I remember also that you mobilized the people of the quarry, of the cement quarry, to be involved in the school and to run programs on environment. So I think this is really a kind of leadership that you harness people both from the grassroots and from the civic society to help you to do things, because those people believe in you and what you are presenting and what you are trying to do. And if you are trying to do a genuine work to help the people and to help the kids, people will be willing to help. How you were able to run the city government without having your own party?
I don't understand what you ask, but I want to say something before. I think that I know what I want to do, and I have a force to make a lot of change. But I think that I need to be right and to say that our society is belong for a lot of people, and I must give the ability for a lot of people to be involved in our society. I think that it's helped me, but I think that it's helped for everybody. I can't do nothing alone.
Tell me, what in 5 years, how many people you will have in the city? What will be the population? What will be the population of the city? How it will grow? How much it will grow in the next 5 years?
Now our program is as something between 300,000 or 400,000.
400, it's like Tel Aviv, hey.
No, Tel Aviv is 6.
It's now 6, okay, good to know.
Yes. We are building a new neighborhood, and I believe that I must say something. It's very difficult for mayor to build a new neighborhood, because when people come to live in my city, I need to give him education, culture, traffic, employment. I think I need to give him a lot of things. And you know that a lot of mayors think I have my city and it's okay and relax. But I think that we have a young couple in Israel and our price of apartment are very, very high. And we must try to build for them apartment and to give them the opportunity to have apartment for them. So although it's very difficult, I think that it's my challenge, and I think that we must help them to have apartment for them.
And how you are going to cope with it? The government is helping you in the funding?
It's very good question, but it's never enough. I think that my government need to help me a lot if they want that I will continue to build.
Do they help you?
They help, but not enough. Not enough.
It's
because,
Aliza, I know you. It's never enough.
Yes, but I think that because of that, now I said, relax. Now I want to care the neighborhood that I build, to give them.
Which neighborhood it is?
What?
Which neighborhood?
Now I build Neve Shamir and Ramat Dalet, and after Mar Tzafon, and after that I say for the government, if you want that I will build more neighborhood, give me more budget.
Let's see some more slides.
Yes. You can see this picture. She's worker. She's my worker in my office. Her name is Tamar. When I try to teach our society to take responsibility about the society, we make here in our municipality a project to say for the girls, when you cut your hair, don't put it in the garbage, take the hair and help for people that need it.
Wow.
I think that it's not important what you are doing for the society, but I think that I say every day for everyone, think what you can to do. It's not important what, but you must do something. And here you see one of our leaders that teach children to play. Most of these children come from difficult families, and he helps them to take with themselves through the play in the guitar and something like that.
Now, Aliza, suppose I come to visit Israel. What are the reasons I should include Beit Shemesh in my trip? Beit Shemesh and its surrounding.
I think that Beit Shemesh is the best place in Israel, first of all. We're in the middle between forests, and you need to know, you saw our central culture, and a lot of the event from Mered Bar Kokhba, from the period when our temple was destroyed. A lot of Jewish was here in the caves, and here around Beit Shemesh we have a lot of place with caves from this period, Tel Azeka, Chir Bet Midras.
There are a lot of agriculture. So number one, you have a forest area with nice places, etc. Number two, archaeological sites. Some of the major and most interesting archaeological sites like Lachish, Bet Guvrin, Bet Shemesh, Azekah, Chir Bat Kaifa.
Tel Yarmut, yes, we have a lot of.
In half a day, you can tour 5 major archaeological sites, and this is what 30 minutes drive from Jerusalem.
Yes.
So
it's 35 minutes from Jerusalem, 40 minutes from Tel Aviv and
What
20
else can you,
minutes
what
from
else can you
Jersey.
see?
What?
What else can you see? You can see the wineries in the Emek Haela.
Yes, and I want to say a unique something about our city. Here in Beit Shemesh, you can see a lot of communities to learn how they are run. Sometimes people go to a lot of place around the world to see another people. And I think that to come to Beit Shemesh, in the close neighborhood, you can to learn about the community. It's interesting to see it, how they how they celebrate something, how they wear their clothes, how they are eating. It's amazing to see how
So
people
instead
from
of going
another
to
what?
instead of going to visit Bnei Brak, you suggest to go to visit Beit Shemesh.
No, but in Bnei Brak you can to see one kind of society. Here
Yeah.
in Beit Shemesh, I think that it's interesting to see a lot of kind of people close, and it's amazing. Last year, my friend Alfred Moses from the United States helped me to build here in Beit Shemesh home for the arts. It's amazing to see it. Now we have every week a new exhibition from one of the art of Beit Shemesh. It's amazing to see that I have art, young people and old people, secular people, and everybody. I decided that to talk through the art. It's amazing to see, and there are a lot of exhibition in few rooms, and people from all the kinds of the society, people from Mea Shearim, and people from Kibbutz Tammuz, or from secular neighborhood can make exhibition of art. And for me, it's one of the way to say it's nice place for tourists, but it's not. It's very important place to say for everybody we can to live together.
How many education systems you have in education institutes you have in Beit Shemesh?
I have in Beit Shemesh 900 schools and kindergarten. All the time, yes, 900. Because I have here all the kinds. I have a secular school. I have anthroposophy school. I have Montessori school. I have Haredi schools that learn in English. I have Haredi schools that learn math and English and Hebrew and all the kinds that you call it liba. I have Dati Leumi. I have Dati Leumi separate between girls and boys and not separate. I have all the kinds. You know, last week I was in the United States, and it was amazing for me to think when I talked with the community that they want to come to live in Beit Shemesh because they know a good things about our education system, because we have all the kinds of education, and I believe that I must give for all the group their needs and to give them a school that they need. I don't think that everybody need to learn in the same school, in the same way. I respect everyone in his way, and I think that all the parents need to decide what the education that they want to give to their children, and I feel that I must give a public school, a good public school, and for me it's very, very important to give for all the children the opportunity to learn with a good school.
Aliza, when are you running into national politics?
I believe that now I do an important thing for our country. I believe that if I will succeed to build Beit Shemesh as the model of the city, that people can learn to live together, to build a good employment, to build a good industry, to build a model of cities that was a poor city, and now she will be a strong city. I think that it's very important for our national, and if I succeeded it, all the world will be okay.
And last question before we move to question and answers. Do you think that what you were able to achieve in Beit Shemesh can be achieved in other municipalities in Israel? Can this kind of coexistence be replicated? And what is the formula?
I believe that we must try it. I believe that it can. And I need to say something. I didn't was born in Beit Shemesh. I was born in Kiryat Gat, and I decided to, when I married to my husband Arale, we decided to come to live in Beit Shemesh because I wanted that my children will grow up with an heterogeneous city. I think that Haredi city is very bad place, and I see that secular city is very bad place, or the Tilumi is not good. And I think that if you live in a Haredi city, you don't see another people. So when you meet another people, you have a lot of questions. And when you see, so if you live in Beitar or in Givatayim, I think that it's bad in the same way, because I think that we must give for our children to live in a heterogeneous city. Don't only to talk about respect another people, we need to teach them to live with them together. And if we will not do it, we have never option to live together. And now you know that in Israel, we have a conflict, and some people think that it's dangerous and our country is in a bad situation. And I believe that we are a young country. I believe that we have a lot of questions, what our identity of our country, what we want that will be here. But I believe that we have a lot of enemy from outside. We don't need to build enemy inside. Inside, we must learn to live together, to talk. We don't need to agree. It's not important to agree. It's important to respect everyone and to know that we have a lot of ways to be a good person. And my way that I decided for me, it's only fit for me. I don't say that it's a one way to live. And I say it for my children, for my citizens, for people that work with me. We must learn it. And I believe that if everyone try to give respect for every people, it's not important what they live, what they're eating, what the celebrations that they celebrate, what the clothes they're wearing. It's not important for me, because I believe that person is person.
Two very quick questions. Number one, how many hours RLS see you a day?
I don't know, but you know that if you want to keep your married, not to have meeting, it's very good.
Yeah.
We are working difficult. He work in the hospital. I work in my office, and it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Second question. You know, coexistence. What a Moroccan girl give her Yeke husband to eat? What does he eat?
What do you think?
I think eat chayme.
I like to cook. I have no time about it, so I do it only at the night between Thursday and Friday to Saturday. I know one story. When my big boy was in the army and I was very busy, so one day I say
I remember when you fed him, you breastfed him.
Yes.
You've done it in the school, I remember.
Yes. So when he come from the army, I was in the very, very busy day. So I bought a food from the shop and I gave him. He told me, my mother,
This
you
is
can't
not why I came from the army.
for this I can't stay at home. Give me egg, but pure egg. And from then I decided not to buy food. And when they come home, I cook for them. I like to cook meat and chicken, and it's okay.
So Aralena doesn't complain.
No, you have no
Okay,
time
and
to do it.
And one last thing, I promise, Wayne, this is the last one.
This is the third last one.
This is the fourth last one. Americans in Beit Shemesh.
We have a very big community American in Beit Shemesh.
How many about?
Something like 20% of my citizens.
Wow, wow.
Yes. We are the second city after Jerusalem of people that come from United States.
Wow.
And sometimes I think that you can come from United States and to talk English in the school, in the neighborhood, in the synagogue. You don't must know Hebrew, but it's very nice for me to see a very good communities that come from United States. Most of them are involved of the society, and it's nice to see it. We have neighborhood as Scheinfeld, Nofe Aviv, Ramat Gimel, Mishkafayim, that a lot of people that come from United States. And when I come to United States to talk with the communities there, they know a lot of details about Beit Shemesh. They don't ask me about employment. They ask me about the bus station of one neighborhood. They ask me about the days that we collect the garbage in the neighborhood. They know a lot of things. All the families in New York, in the Jewish community, have friends or family in Beit Shemesh.
You can see it on the chat. Every time everybody in the chat says, I have a friend. Sharon from the chat, you ask why Arya is not cooking for Aliza. I will tell you, if you have to select between Moroccan food and Yeke and German food, the choice is very clear. Wayne, Aliza, thank you. You were wonderful like always. Wayne, the floor is yours.
Well, Mayor Aliza, in the chat, you also have somebody who's voting for you. I don't know whether they live in Beit Shemesh or not, but you've already recruited at least one vote, and you definitely have a visitor coming from Chicago who you've already convinced to include in her itinerary this summer. In all seriousness, building off the topic Yossi was asking, among the many people in our audience today are some baseball fans, actually specifically Israeli baseball fans. And we've been on this program very excited to track baseball in Israel and the Israeli team that went to the Olympics. We know in the audience you have a very famous resident, the head of the Israel Association of Baseball, Dr. Jordi Alter, our friends Ellie and Rottenberg is a resident, our friend Danny Grossman, an enthusiast for all things baseball in Israel. Tell us a little bit about what projects you have, not only for the competitive adults, but also for youth, because I understand you have some interesting youth programs as well that are really for Sabras.
Yes. Now I am working with Judy Alker about a baseball field. I think that it's very important for us. We are working about build a big swimming pool. We are working about a sport tech for tennis and football and basketball. I think that it's important to make sport. I think that it's important to build health through the sport. Last week we made a very nice race and a lot of people ran together. but I think that sport as art, as music are my ways to give for the people to live together, don't to talk about it. But I feel that when you put few children in the football and you put ball in the center of the field, they know to learn to play together. And I think that we must build a lot of sports fields in all my neighborhood, because I believe that this is one of my ways to build a good society. Don't to talk about it, to do it.
Well, we'll put up some more of those pictures that were playing in the background before. What so impressed me was the amount of public, the attention to public spaces that you're obviously doing with a great deal of intention. Some of it is beautiful art, some of it just reflects on the landscape, and some of it, like the piano that you pointed out earlier, are places where people can meet and congregate in public from different communities, not only the same community. What are the projects that you're most excited about that actually bring people who are different or from different communities, but bring them together in public spaces?
I think that my decision to put in all the neighborhood garden and parks, and here you see a community garden. For me, it's very important, and I put it in the same neighborhood that every family take one area and make their plants, and they work together to build this place. It's not my worker from the municipality that did it. We help them, but you can see the name of the families that working together, and they keep it. It's amazing to see them. Children and old people, secular and Orthodox. And I think that a lot of people think that when we discuss between people, we build a society. I decided not to talk, but to build something like a community garden, like piano in the road, like to clean together in the clean day, to make the race. You see here the people that run together. I think that all the things that work about our common good help us to be a good society.
So we had a question early on that I think Yossi will like it, about high-tech opportunities in your city. Obviously, around there are many job opportunities, and I'm sure many residents commute to different jobs. Are there opportunities for people to work in high tech, and what's your way to sort of keep people in Beit Shemesh as well for work?
When I began to be the mayor in Beit Shemesh, I thought that every day, in 6, 7, 8, and 9 o'clock, all the train from Beit Shemesh to Tel Aviv are with people that live in Beit Shemesh and work in Tel Aviv. Some of them go in the beginning of the week. They are going to Europe and come back in the end of the week. So I decided that we must work to bring company to Beit Shemesh, to give the opportunity to make high tech in Beit Shemesh. I think that the Corona helped us because people stay at home, and company in Tel Aviv and in Jerusalem learn that it's okay that people stay at home, stay at Beit Shemesh. And now we are working with Deloitte, Amazon, and we are working with group to come to build their company in Beit Shemesh. It's very difficult because our image was not good, and company didn't want to come to build here their company. Now I feel that we made the change, and now company are interested to come to Beit Shemesh. Fox will come here, Shmulik Rofe, Amot, Migdal come to here, Deloitte. I think that I'm in the beginning of this process, and I feel that if a few years, company will ask them why we are not in Beit Shemesh.
Aliza, by the way, you have some very loyal people from Beit Shemesh who do promotion to Beit Shemesh all the time in the chat. You have to see it. One write transportation is great. The other one write programs for seniors in English are all over the place. You really have to make sure that Wayne send you the copy of all the chat, and you should read it. You will get lots of joy.
We'd be happy to. And when we finish, we're going to send anyone who wants it or couldn't join us today. Of course, we'll send them a link to a recording of the program so they can see it as well. Let me try to get one or two more questions in if we can. You mentioned early on you have people from 50 different countries. Is there was a question about housing for people who make Aliyah. Is there a Merkaz Klita or some temporary housing for people who are coming from other countries?
We have no Merkaz Klita and no flat for them, but we have a very strong apartment in our municipality with people that help them to find school for the children, to find employment, to give them a culture, to help them to work with the bureaucracy in Israel. And we make a lot of meetings with them from they are living from Russia, French, United States. We help them there before they come here. When they come here, most of them know what class and school their children will learn. We are working difficult about it because I think that it's difficult to make Aliyah, but to make Aliyah to Beit Shemesh is the best decision.
Last question. I'm going to take a point of personal privilege. Someone's asking about theater. You showed the beautiful cultural center, and people want to know if there are live performances and music and other kinds of. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what those cultural programs are.
I'm working to build here a cinema. I'm working to build here more central culture in the north of the city. I'm working to build here a park high-tech in the Mishkafai neighborhood and in the north of our city. I working to build here two more swimming pool. I try to bring money from the government. I try to bring money from the philanthropic people because I believe that if Beit Shemesh will succeed, our country will succeed, because I believe that if you see Beit Shemesh in 2023, you can to understand what will be happy in Israel in 2040. You can like it or no, but you need to look in the eyes and to understand what will be here about the demographic, about the economic, about the politicization. And I believe because of that Beit Shemesh must succeed.
Yossi, last word or question?
No, last word. If this is the last word, if you are closing the meeting.
Oh, I want to say before Yossi close.
Okay.
For me, it was very nice time to talk with Yossi. I don't know if you understood who is Yossi. I think that Yossi is a model for our children with ambition, he's a very smart, he's very involved.
Aliza, leave it to the webinar about me.
Yes, and I think that we have know a lot of people in our world that come every day and ask himself, what can I do to build a good society? He never tired. Every day he have a good idea, a new idea for our society, and for me, the best friend. Thanks.
Thank you very much. What I wanted to say, but now it will sound as flattering back to the audience, that you had the chance to see one of the Israeli authentic young leaders which represent a different kind of politics, and you see them all over the local governments. If you look into the law, you read only on the politicians of the government, of the central government. But if you look into the local government, you will see number of young people which have the feeling of mission, which are going and assuming public responsibility without political support. And I think this is the promise of Israel. So now you gave me compliments, I gave you back, but I meant it.
That's okay. For a program in Israel to be having so many compliments, both on the air and in the chat, I think it will win a special award for appreciation of Beit Shemesh today. Appreciation for our two panelists, Dr. Aliza Bloch and Dr. Yossi Vardi. It's been a love fest today. I have loved being with you and seeing the warmth and, frankly, the results of your vision of building a more inclusive and a more diverse city in Beit Shemesh. Indeed, as Yossi said, a beacon, a model for other cities in the country as well, at a time where we need that. And you are building it. You are speaking a language that people can understand by results, and we're grateful to be a part of that journey and to learn more about it. So thank you both for being here today. Thank you to our active audience, which I think we track these metrics. I haven't seen so many comments and discussions going on the side of our webinars in quite some time. So I think everybody is getting some of that positive energy and positive neshama that is emanating from the call, and for that we're grateful as well. We will continue it. This is a 2 week for us at AIFL. We come back this Wednesday for our next episode, which focuses on visual art and painting. Our very distinguished master gallery tour guide, Gabriela Weissenscher, who will be introducing us to 3 new artists on a virtual tour of galleries in Israel and the United States. Come back on Wednesday. Everybody, let's take this positive energy about the positive things and the positive things that are happening in Israel today as we speak, and let it magnify and grow to be more of that. So thanks everyone here for being with us. Have a safe week. Lihitrot.